Hi everybody, welcome to the Brain Book channel. I am Amir and today I want to talk about definition and division of nervous system. What is the nervous system? The nervous system is a combination of organized group of cells that are called neurons. They are specialized for the conduction of impulses. And the nervous system has a wide range of complexity in different organisms. As you can see here in the picture, in some organisms it's so simple, and in, for example, vertebrates, it's more complex. The nervous system is a complex network that coordinates our body activity, reflexes, and sensations. For example, it controls our movement and our speech. It controls our reflexes to external stimuli. For example, if we touch a hot surface with our hands, the nervous system will help us to rescue ourselves and pull back our hand. And for example, other sensations like sensing smells or sensing taste. In this way, the nervous system activity controls the ability to move, breathe, see, think, and more. The nervous system uses two components, electrical and chemical means, to help all parts of the body to communicate with each other. The basic function of the nervous system is divided in three categories: sensory function, integrative function, and motor function. As you can see, the sensory function is done by sensory neurons, which are called afferent neurons. The integrative function is done by interneurons, and the motor function is done by motor neurons, which are called efferent neurons. Totally, our nervous system is divided in two parts: the central nervous system, which is called CNS, and the peripheral nervous system, which is called PNS. The central nervous system containing the brain and spinal cord, and the peripheral nervous system, which is a network of nerves and neural tissues branching out throughout the body. The brain and spinal cord are the organs of central nervous system. Because they are so vitally important, the brain and spinal cord are located in the dorsal body cavity and are encased in the bone for protection. And peripheral nervous system is divided in four groups: the cranial nerves, spinal nerves, ganglia, and sensory receptors. And here in the right part of the and in the image, you can see the brain and spinal cord, which are CNS, and the cranial nerves and spinal nerves and sensory receptors, which are called PNS. Totally, peripheral nervous system is divided into two groups of nervous system: somatic and the autonomic. The somatic nervous system is controlling controlled by our consciousness, and it performs with the conscious control activities. For example, body skeletal muscles that are controlled with our consciousness. For example, you want to move your hand, then your hand will be moved. It is done by somatic nervous system. And another one is autonomic nervous system, which is automatic or involuntary. For example, your body controls your glands, your blood vessels, and internal organs. You cannot influence this kind of nervous system by your consciousness, and it will be done automatically in our body. As you can see here in the picture, the PNS is shown that where the peripheral nervous system exists throughout our body. And the autonomic nervous system, which was automatic, has two divisions: the sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Totally, sympathetic nervous system is arouses the body, mobilizing its energy in a stressful situation. For example, if you were frightened, your sympathetic nervous system will be activated and put your body in a condition, for example, to be careful or ready to do some other activities. And another one is a parasympathetic nervous system, which calms the body and put the body in a specific situation that it conserve its energy. When we are relaxed, our parasympathetic nervous system is activated and will help us to conserve the energy. And here you can see a diagram, the whole classification of nervous system. The nervous system is divided into two groups of CNS or central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. The PNS is divided into the somatic nervous system that's related to our muscles and movements, skeletal muscles, and autonomic nervous system, which is automatic. This autonomic nervous system is divided into the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. As you may know, the nervous system has different groups of cells. That these cells are put into different groups. The neurons that electrically excitable nerve cells, and they are responsible for the function of the nervous system, and neuroglia, that are cells that are called glia or glial cells. These cells have a supportive effect for neurons, and they nourish and protect neurons in our nervous system. Totally, neurons under nerve cells, the structural and functional unit of the nervous system. They conduct impulses that enable the body to interact with the internal or external environments. And there are various types of neurons. The tissue that support the nerve cells is called neuroglia, as we said. And here we can see three types of neurons: sensory neuron category, motor neurons, and interneurons. Sensory neurons are the nerve cells that are activated by the sensory input from the environment. For example, when you touch a hot surface with your fingertips, the sensory neurons will be the ones firing and sensing of signals to the rest of the nervous system about the information they have received. And the inputs that activate sensory neurons can be physical or chemical, corresponding to all five of our senses. Thus, a physical input can be things like sound, touch, heat, or light. And a chemical input comes from taste or smell, which neurons then send to the brain. Most sensory neurons are pseudo-unipolar, which means that they only have one axon, which is split into two branches. Yeah. About motor neurons, they are of the spinal cord and the part of the central nervous system, and connect the muscles, glands, and organs throughout the body. These neurons transmit impulses from the spinal cord to skeletal and smooth muscles, and so directly control all of our muscle movements. There are, in fact, two types of motor neurons. Those that travel from spinal cord to muscle are called lower motor neurons, whereas those that travel between the brain and spinal cord that are called upper motor neurons. Totally motor neurons have the most common type of body plan for the nerve cell. They are multipolar, each with one axon and several dendrites. And interneurons, they connect sensory and motor neurons and carry impulses between them. As the name suggests, they are that ones in between, and they connect spinal motor and sensory neurons, as well as transferring signal between sensory motor neurons. Interneurons can also communicate with each other and forming circuits of various complexity. They are multipolar, just like motor neurons. Here you can see the shape of different types of neurons: sensory neuron, here, motor neuron, and interneuron. In next videos, we will talk more about these types of neuronal cells. Thanks for your attention. If you think this video is helpful, please put the like button. And also, if you think it's good, please subscribe the Brain Book channel and recommend it to your friends. Wait for my next videos. Bye.